The end is at hand!
Welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my review for the 7 Deadly Sins, Grudge of Edinburgh Part 2. My first top tip for watching this Part 2 film is to go back and watch Part 1. It's probably been a little while since you've seen Part 1, and this really is one movie. They've taken one movie and chopped it up into 2 parts and released them separately, so really this will help you because we continue from the moment it ended. Let's jump in. This original story by series creator Nakaba Suzuki tells the tale of Tristan, the son of the 7 Deadly Sins protagonist, and his wife Elizabeth. As Tristan struggles with the enormous power he inherited from both of his parents, he encounters his rival Lancelot. Together they engage in battle with Deathpierce, who threatens the life of Tristan's mother. So it's interesting seeing Bond's son seeing what powers they had. When we left them at the end of Part 1, they were just about to start on their journey to battle Deathpierce, who had cursed his mom. It does kind of leave us in the middle of the beginning of a big monster battle. And once we sort that out, we go on the proper journey, basically a 45-minute long piece of an action story, because the first part was that kind of building up the story. The first part had a few action scenes, but really was reintroducing us to the world where our 7 Deadly Sins characters are now. But really it's not their story, it's the 2 sons' stories. And that's this part really kind of centers around, is Tristan coming to terms with the power he has and being able to actually fully let go. He is haunted by what he did to his rival. Lancelot wants to fight just like Bond and did. You know, they have that rivalry, but it's like best friend rivalry, seeing who's the strongest. That is a big part, the core of the story here. So when they're fighting the big bads, there's always that thing hanging in the background as whether who is the strongest. They want to see who's going to fight. Of course, this is classic anime storyline when the big bad is realizing how strong his opponents are. You know, it's the classic, this isn't even my final form.
It's over 9,000! 9,000!
You know, Dragon Ball Z, he's over 9,000. He's going to do that thing where we know every bit. Good guys get beaten, bad guys get beaten, everybody gets stronger and shows the ultimate form. That is where the story is. But what I wanted to see was the 2 main protagonists fight. And thankfully we do get to see that. So if you're wondering if that's going to be concluded or shown, at least in this bit, it will be, so I think you'll enjoy that. Now when it comes to the animation, that has split fans quite a bit, I think, and for me the first part, I would say I gave a lower score because I just didn't like the animation, or I wasn't used to it. So going into Part 2, I knew what to expect. I knew exactly what the CG 3D animation style was going to look like, so having that in the back of my mind, I can just kind of breathe, going, okay, this is how they've decided to animate this movie, let's just go with it. And I have to say, the fighting sequences are good. They're not as good as they have been in previous seasons and series. The animation where they stuck with the original animation, the fight sequences there are incredible, some of the best you've seen. It's not always the story that people congregate around. You know, some of it is fun and fine, but it's those fight sequences once we get to those big battles and the climactic scenes with the 7 Deadly Sins between the angels and the demons. That story arc, when we get demon form, those moments in the animation were excellent. So we're obviously going to get different forms here, but with the animation style, you know what to expect this time round, so you can enjoy how they are showing it. And some of the positives is you can do that kind of movement around them and follow them around, seeing different angles that we weren't always shown. So there is definitely positives to it. The character color palette, I think, is vibrant as it is usually, so they've stuck to their guns with it. The voice work is, it's okay. I watched in English for a lot of it and it's okay. I would say always watch in the original if you can. But there's this high-pitched squeal character that sometimes doesn't really relate the emotions that we get from the original language. And you know what I mean when you get those voice inflections, those little subtle nuances as to the type of emotion you're meant to be feeling in that moment.
ドリクセン、お前は本気で俺を怒らせた。
Sometimes the original language is better for that. But however, if you don't like reading subtitles and you prefer just listening to dub, then I think you'll be fine. It's, you know, it's the same as part one. Really, you would see this as a one movie. So if you haven't seen part one, just watch part 1 and 2 together as if it's one movie. At some point, I presume we will get physical media, hopefully, and watch it as one movie, because it just feels like they've taken the two and split them up. Maybe they needed more time for the animating it, so they finished the first part and then, you know, continued on the second half. I would say all in all, the story is fine, very predictable. It does feel like they've got some unanswered questions. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to give this 3 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
And you got one. Congratulations.
Still not the greatest, but fun, and I've accepted the type of animation there is. Just getting more 7 Deadly Sins is always fun. While I've been watching the anime, I've enjoyed being in that world with those characters. Bon continues to be my favorite character. Escobar, I think, was great. Let me know how you would rank your favorite characters. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.